In the past couple hundred years or so, we slowly lost touch in our spiritual dimension. We moved to technology, to third-person scientific knowledge, and got completely disconnected from the spirit. In this video, I'm going to talk about how all of this connects to music and why I think music is one of our most pure, ideology-free spiritual practice that we have and that we can turn back to if we want to get back in touch with our soul and not get overly attached to any ideologies or without getting lost in the depths of the internet, endlessly arguing without gaining any further insight. Let me share a bit of my story so you understand where I'm coming from. I was raised a Christian. My mother is a deeply religious person, but my father was more musician type, didn't really go to church so much, and if he did, it was just to please my mom. So my father's family was atheistic, my mother's family deeply religious, so from very young age I was living between those two worlds. Because I was philosophically minded, I started asking the deep questions, who am I and why there's something rather than nothing? And alongside all of this, I sang in choir, I played in bands, I wrote my own music and was deeply connected to the musical. Then later on during my university years, I discovered some ideas from Buddhism, I got into meditation and was really excited about this sort of consciousness angle of it. And I also got a bit more scientific and philosophical because I was studying philosophy and then mathematics at some point. So all of these influences were coming together while I was still playing the music, but it wasn't clicking for me that music has something to do with this at all. Maybe you're still wondering as well, what is he talking about? Why is the music connected to this at all? So here we go. A few years back, I discovered John Vervaeke. He's a Canadian cognitive scientist, and he's also very deeply engaged in Buddhist practice, in mindful meditation, and all sorts of different types of meditation. Check his stuff if you want, it's very profound. But the main idea I learned from him is about 4 different types of knowing. Propositional knowing, perspectival knowing, participatory knowing, procedural knowing. He shows how the scientific worldview I was talking about earlier is heavily focused on the propositional knowing, and that's why we have these arguments that lead nowhere, because we're just readjusting propositions, making arguments coherent within certain system, but never break outside of that system, because that would somehow be wrong or break our worldview. We are not comfortable with holding a paradox. Then he talks about the procedural knowing, that's more about skills. Knowing how to play the guitar isn't true or false, it's skill that you either have or not. Perspectival knowing, it's about how is it to be in your very perspective, and the participatory is the very connection, the being underneath that. And so what I eventually came to realize is that these other aspects of reality outside of the third-person propositional stuff, this procedural, participatory, perspectival, is something that music is actually playing with quite a lot. Notice the language there. We say we play music. Music is really, really good at touching those areas of ourselves that we would describe as more spiritual. And now I'm finally getting to why I titled this video in the way I did. Music, if done well, if it's not just ticking boxes and trying to learn prescribed scales and techniques, can be a profound exercise and practice for your spiritual well-being, connected to your embodied self, because you need to play it, you do it with your body, but at the same time the sound kind of catalyzes something from your emotional inner world. So after trying all sorts of meditation techniques and breathing exercises, I realized that singing, for example, is just breathing exercise on pitch. So rather than doing, I can go, and this is much more profound as someone who cultivated a deep relationship to sound expression, to music as such. I understand this is not for everyone. If you never did anything musical, maybe there's other thing better for you. But for musicians, and I assume people who clicked on this video have some love, at least, for music. You might not consider yourself as a musician, as a quote-unquote real musician, but you probably have some relationship to music, some appreciation for it. And that resonance, that vibration that I just showed you, to me, does something profound to you. Now, if you combine this with meditation practice and mindfulness and try and not only notice thoughts, but also tensions in your body during your music practice, this to me is the thing that connects artistic music expression with catalyzing your emotions into something beautiful. And that's why I stand by this holistic music approach, where we look at music not only as a skill disconnected from everything else, but the profound part of our lives that can amazingly balance everything else that's going in our lives, that's more focused on the propositional, as I mentioned before. The great advantage of music is that there is no ideology about, is there God, is there not God, what do we mean by God? The whole point of music is just music. It's just sing your melody and share it with others. And that's another important part, the community, playing with people. And I think that's gotten a little bit lost from music, unfortunately. Not just performing, but playing around the campfire, around the table with each other, without preconceived notions or judgments of, oh, this guy is a performer, he's a professional musician, so he can perform, he can show us what to do, or she can show us what to do, how to do it, and then we judge them based on what we saw on TV or whatever. Rather, we all can express through sound. We all can get our emotions out in this way, and it's really, really healthy, and it can connect us on a much deeper level. That's it for this video. Let me know in the comments what you think, and if you'd like to engage and learn more about my approach, my method, you can join my free community where we together discuss these sorts of topics and even make some music together. So check that out, I put a link in the description. Let me know in the comments how you resonated, if you did, and whether you think there are some valid points in what I shared. And I hope to see you in the next video. Please subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to build this second channel of mine. Hope to see you in the next one. Bye for now.